Do some sweet new Modern Horizons 3 editions mean it's finally time for Necrotic Ooze to combo off in Modern on a budget? That's what we're going to find out today. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. And this week, for the first time in quite a while, we are heading to Modern to play some Necrotic Ooze Combo. So Nadu's finally gone, Grief is finally gone, Modern's back on the menu, and we're gonna see if thanks to some Modern Horizons 3 editions, we can combo off with Necrotic Ooze on just a $90 budget. So let's talk about this deck, what it's trying to do, jump into some games, see it in action. So first off, we have our key card, our combo piece Necrotic Ooze, a 4-drop that has all the activated abilities of all creature cards in the graveyard. So how do you combo with Necrotic Ooze? Well, the answer is, we need 3 specific creatures in the graveyard. We need a Morsel Horde, a Devoted Druid, and a Spike Shot Elder, because we need Necrotic Ooze to have all 3 of their abilities. So the way the combo works is Morsel Horde's ability is you can remove a -1/-1 counter from it to add a mana of any color. Devoted Druid's ability is putting -1/-1 counter on it to untap it. So you probably see where this is going. We can put a counter on the Necrotic Ooze with Devoted Druid's ability, then remove it with Morsel Horde's ability to make a mana, do it again, infinite mana. And then Spike Shot Elder's ability is pay 3 mana to deal damage to any target equal to its power. So essentially, we make 3 mana, we Necrotic Ooze with Spike Shot abilities, 4 damage to our opponent, do it again, burn our opponent out of the game on the spot. So that's what we're trying to set up with the deck. So your question is probably, why are you playing this deck now? All of these cards have been in Magic for like 15 years now, and the answer is, it's really hard to get a Morsel Horde, a Devoted Druid, and a Spike Shot Elder into the graveyard. That's a lot of work, but that changed thanks to Modern Horizons 3. We got 2 perfect support cards for this deck, with the most important being Buried Alive. So before Modern Horizons 3 and Buried Alive, Necrotic Ooze was essentially a 4-card combo, right? We need to find the Ooze, we need to get 3 specific cards in the graveyard. But now thanks to Buried Alive, which just lets us tutor our library and put 3 creatures directly into our graveyard, it's kind of a 2-card combo. On turn 3, we can Buried Alive, grab the Spike Shot Elder, the Devoted Druid, the Morsel Hoarder, put him in the graveyard, turn 4 Necrotic Ooze, combo off, win the game. The other big MH3 addition is Malevolent Rumble, which just digs through our deck, fills our graveyard, finds a permanent, like maybe the Necrotic Ooze, and then also makes a spawn token for a little extra mana. So those are 2 of the big additions. We also got a couple of new ways to get our combo pieces from the graveyard. So as we are self-milling and filling the graveyard, which you'll see the rest of our deck is like Gnawing Vermins and Stitcher Suppliers and Satyr Wayfinders, some Cursed Marauders for removal, but basically just self-mill. As we're self-milling, we might mill over a Necrotic Ooze, or maybe we mill one of our combo pieces and we can Buried Alive the Necrotic Ooze into the graveyard. If this happens, we can use Victimize or Chthonian Nightmare to reanimate the Necrotic Ooze and then combo off and win the game. Chthonian Nightmare, also really nice with our self-mill creatures like Stitcher Supplier, Satyr Wayfinder. We can just keep looping them to like turbo mill our deck, fill our graveyard, get the combo set up that way if we can't find a Buried Alive. Mana base, pretty functional, although definitely very budget. A lot of fast lands, some pain lands, a buddy land, Spymaster's Vault, Tignuma, some basic lands. In the sideboard, we have Duress, Assassin's Trophy, Haywire Bite to deal with our opponent's graveyard hate. The biggest risk of this deck is graveyard hate does really shut us down because we need those combo pieces in the graveyard for the Ooze to seal their abilities. So those cards hopefully can keep the graveyard hate off the battlefield. Fatal Push, Sheoldred's Edict to deal with creatures, Damping Sphere for Tron lands and for Storm, Soul Guide Lantern for opponent's graveyards, and that is $90 Necrotic Ooze combo for Modern. That's our deck for today. Let's jump into a Modern League and see, is Necrotic Ooze good in Modern thanks to Buried Alive and some other sweet new additions from Modern Horizons 3? Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor Card Kingdom over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. Budget Magic time. We are trying to combo off with Necrotic Ooze in Modern of all places. Is Modern back on the menu thanks to the Nadu ban and the Grief ban, thank goodness. No Wondering ban, yeah. Let's see what our opponent's up to. Pluto Delta go. All right, this hand is fine. We don't have an Ooze. Let's just play the Blooming Marsh, get down the Stitcher Supplier, do a little milling. Well, all right. Ooze in the graveyard's not bad. We will accept that. So what do we need to win with this deck? We need Devoted Druid, Spike Shot Elder, Morsel Horde in the graveyard, Ooze on the battlefield. It sounds like a lot, but the reason we're playing this deck is now Buried Alive is legal in Modern. Buried Alive puts 3 creatures in the graveyard, so really all we need to win is Buried Alive to dump the other 3 creatures in the graveyard and a Necrotic Ooze. We also have ways to get creatures out of the graveyard, so milling an Ooze is not the worst thing. Opponent, Ether Spellbomb off the Urza Saga. Yeah, there's a Satyr Wayfinder. Let's get down a Satyr Wayfinder. Do a little digging, see if we can find a land, and, well, okay. Morsel Horde's going in the graveyard is fine. I guess we take Blooming Marsh since it comes into play untapped. We would like to get down the Spymaster's Vault at some point. That's a way we can loot this Spike Shot Elder into the graveyard. Devoted Druid's easy, because Devoted Druid can always just kill itself whenever you want to with the counters. So that we can always play and kill if we need it in the graveyard. Spike Shot, a little trickier. We might need to connive it into the graveyard. Might as well get in for 1. The odds of us winning by beating down with this deck are pretty low, but you never know. Satyr Wayfinder beats have happened before. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. All right, let's see what our opponent's up to. Some sort of artifact deck. A little worried that they might be able to just snake Graveyard Hate, untap land so they can activate the Urza Saga. They might be able to just get Graveyard Hate with this Urza Saga, which is a little awkward. 8-turn clock. We're getting there. I mean, let's just play the Devoted Druid, I think. I am concerned that they're just going to get Graveyard Hate. If we Buried Alive here, yeah, okay. Yeah, a little bit of a punt, maybe. Probably should just play the Spymaster's Vault. My initial thought was we were just going to Buried Alive, but now I'm too afraid that they're going to get a Tormod script or something. So we could have played the Spymaster's Vault and got that down. We don't have a Swamp, so it's going to be tapped at the moment. And I don't even know if we want to play the Spike Shot Elder here. I guess probably we can jump block with it, but we really want it in the graveyard. We need to get it in the graveyard. All right, well, here comes the Urza Saga. Lower counter number 3, opponent. I'm going to make another construct. Well, we're on a clock. We are on a clock for sure. 2 big constructs. Pound it. Come on. Oh, okay. Underworld Cookbook. So that is something that supports our opponent's game plan. However, it does not wreck our graveyard, so we will take it. We'll also take a pretty big attack here. Down to 16 from the construct. Okay, there's a swamp. I mean, now I think we might as well just Buried Alive. Buried Alive, get the combo set up. So Spike Shot Elder, Devoted Druid, get the graveyard stocked. All right, so now all we need is the Ooze. If we find the Ooze, we win the game. It's as simple as that. We got to find the Ooze before we die. We can top deck it. We can top deck Reanimation, Chthonian Nightmare, Victimize, any way to get the Ooze into play, and the game is ours. One of the nice things about the combo is there isn't really a window to interact with it once it resolves. You need multiple removal spells to fizzle it once it resolves. And I mean, we can't jump block at the moment. Opponent discarded a Cremator. That's a little scary. Gonna Lightning Bolt to Devoted Druid, sure. And opponent's defense, untap down to 12. Oh, we need to keep a creature for conniving purposes. The Spymaster's Vault doesn't do anything if we don't have a creature. Opponent, gonna make another food, gonna discard even more Cremators. All right, down to 11. I mean, we're not dead on board next turn. So Cremator, they got to be playing like Emrakul or something, right? Something big. I don't know what, Yeah, I don't know exactly what the rest of their plan is. Are they an Asmo deck? They might be. I guess they could be a Breach deck. This could be like a really weird, like, Cremator and then Breach is also your backup plan. Ooze. Blooming Marsh. All right, Blooming Marsh is not an Ooze. Pass the turn. We can chump block and connive. About it. Big attack. Hopefully they don't have a bunch of lightning bolts or something, or those Cremators might actually kill this. Opponent discards a Spell Snare. Okay. Stitcher Supplier does a little milling. Hopefully there's not removal here. Connive for 1. Can we find the Ooze, please? Oh, that's Ooze. That's Ooze. Okay, it might be party time. It might be party time. We gotta hope they don't have a counter. That Spell Snare kind of scares me. Ooh, Victimize too. All right, well, we found all the uses finally. So, I mean, there's no real playing around it, right? We just We just have to cast the... I don't think there's anything we can do. If they have a counter, they have a counter. How about a Necrotic Ooze? No counters? Oh my god, it resolved. Okay. So, we're just gonna pass. We can combo at any time. We can combo at instant speed. We're gonna try to combo in our opponent's upkeep, I think, is the best window. So, it is possible to fizzle this combo with removal, but you need 2 removal spells. Our opponent might, like, crack a food or something, and then they have less mana to cast 2 removal spells if they have them. I don't think they have it, but we might as well play it as optimally as possible. All right, upkeep. Well, okay. Devoted Druid's ability lets us add a -1/-1 counter to the Morsel Horde. Check that. Devoted Druid's ability lets us add a -1/-1 counter to the Necrotic Ooze thanks to Devoted Druid's ability. Then we can remove the -1/-1 counter to add a mana of any color thanks to Morsel Horde's ability. So that essentially gives us infinite mana of any color. And then the final piece to actually win the game, Spike Shot Elder. Pay 3 red, deal damage equal to its power, except Necrotic Ooze is the Spike Shot Elder. So essentially, we just keep clicking until we win here, or until our opponent scoops. So the reason this works through removal is Ooze is a 4/3, so we can actually add 2 counters to it before it dies. So if we add a counter, remove a counter, add a counter, remove a counter, if our opponent tries to interact in response to one of those, we can always just add a second counter and keep the loop going. So that's why they have to have at least 2 removal spells to fizzle it. So now we got 3 mana. Throw it at your face. Down to 7. And now we do it again. Add a counter to the Ooze. And opponent scoops it up. And that was close, but Necrotic Ooze doing its thing in 2024. What do we want against this deck? Haywire Might seems reasonable. So one of the big downsides of this combo is it does get caught by Graveyard Hate. I am very nervous, especially with our opponent having Ursa Saga. They should be good at finding Graveyard Hate. So I think we got to bring in the Assassin's Trophies just to have some answer to Graveyard Hate. So we have some shot. And I guess we're running like that. On to game number 2. The Morsel Horde and Spike Shot are so bad in hand. This hand's really close, but I think we're going to mulligan just because we'd rather have... Ooh, okay, this hand's much better. We'd rather have those cards in our deck, not in our hand. So this hand, we got no Ooze. But outside of the Ooze, we have pretty much everything we want. We got the Buried Alive, we got the Satyr Wayfinder, even got a little Malevolent Rumble to dig for the Ooze. If we can find the Ooze, this hand could be pretty good. What do you got? So, ooh, River of Tears. Don't see River of Tears that often. Play the Blooming Marsh. Bastard. They could have Spell Snare. We know Spell Snare is a thing because they had it last game. Well, we found a Stitcher Splinger anyway. Well, let's play the Satyr Wayfinder. I think if they're going to counter 1, yeah, all right. Bona has a counter. If they're going to counter something, I think we'd rather have Satyr Wayfinder counter than Rumble. Rumble's a bit better since we get the spawn. Bona land, and I can find a Ooze. Take Numa, eh? I mean, the highest upside play is just to Buried Alive. I think we just do it. So we get the Morsel Horde, we get the Spike Shot, we get the Devoted Druid. So this is the highest upside line, because what this means is, if we just top deck and resolve Necrotic Ooze, game over. Game over on the spot. We just win the game immediately. So we have everything we need, and that's the power of Buried Alive in this deck. Like, that's the reason we're playing the deck, is Buried Alive being able to do that. Oh, Stone of Eric, eh? That is Graveyard Hate. It does take 2 mana. This is gonna actually be... Oh, Victimize, okay. An interesting standoff now. Huh. So now we get to play a new game, which our new game is, can we either get our opponent to tap down and not leave up the stone activation, or can we get them to blow the stone before we spend any more of our self-mill and try to rebuild? Yeah, opponent does not crack it. They're gonna be patient. The only good news is this does require 2 mana compared to like a Tormod Script or even a Soul Guide Lantern. Opponent finds a land. That's actually pretty good for them. If our opponent wants to keep leaving this up every turn, they do have to leave up 2 mana, which is a lot of mana that's going to waste. I think we take Numa here. I wonder, I doubt that would be enough to get our opponent to crack the stone, but maybe. Worst case, I guess we can get a Satyr Wayfinder for the future. We just really don't want to cast these. How can we get our opponent to activate this stone? We don't really want to cast them and lose them. Ooh, Assassin's Trophy. Okay, that's good. Well, I guess our new plan is pass on our opponent's end step. We can try to blow up the stone, and hopefully that makes our opponent crack it at least. I mean, I guess they could have another spell snare. That would be the worst case, but even so, I think that's our best bet. Oh, opponent. We also still need to find the ooze. Well, here we go. Assassin's Trophy of the Stone. Trying to give her, we're giving you a land, opponent. We're being nice. Just let it go. Don't exile our graveyard. All right, spell snare. Spell snare, indeed. Spike shot elder, that's not especially helpful. Oh, we gotta do something, right? I guess we rumble. Let's rumble. Take the ooze. I mean, the ooze will make our opponent blow the stone, but then we have an ooze with no graveyard. We do have like multiple ways to fill the graveyard at least, but that might be what we have to do. We might just have to play through this first graveyard exile and hope we can rebuild. I wish we didn't have the spike shot in hand. That means there's only one more in the deck. Eventually we can get out of hand, but it might take a bit. Well, opponent gonna pass, leave up the stone. Opponent has really committed to sitting on the stone here. 1, 2, 3, and I think we sack the token, because then we can play Stitcher Supplier post ooze. Can it resolve? If this doesn't resolve, then we're really sad, because then they get to leave the stone up for longer. All right, thank goodness. I mean, it hurts to have our graveyard exiled, but at least it's off the battlefield, and now we can go into rebuild mode. Stitcher Supplier. Let's just mill exactly Morsel Hoarder, Spike Shot. Oh, they're gonna kill the ooze too. Morsel Hoarder, Spike Shot, and Devoted Druid. No. The odds of that are very, very small. I mean, this Victimize is going to be good at some point. Plus, we can start doing Nightmare shenanigans. Hopefully, our opponent's about out of spell snares. Also, this stone would have shut down the Nightmare too really well. Opponent surveils away a fetch land. So what do we need here? I guess another Buried Alive is the simplest way to set things back up. Well, let's get in with our Stitcher Supplier. Hit ya. And let the milling begin. Satyr Wayfinder. We've played so many Satyr Wayfinders over the years. Ooh, those are good mills. Morsel Horde and Devoted Druid. So now all we need is to get this Spike Shot in the graveyard somehow, some way. Well, let's play the Nightmare, because then we can Victimize back the ooze and go off. All right, opponent perhaps out of spell snares finally. Well, let's sack the Stitcher Supplier, pick up the Nightmare, do a little milling, get back the Satyr Wayfinder. There's a Spike Shot Elder. Okay. I mean, this does mean we win the game next turn. If the no more graveyard hate in the Victimize. Gotta resolve. I guess we could also do it with Nightmare, so we don't even really need it to resolve. Like, Victimize or Nightmare can get it back, so I can even counter one of them. Our opponent's doing things? That's frightening. Psychic Frog, okay. And, oh, there's a Cremator. How bad is this for us? Opponent discards an... Oh, they discard an Emrakul to the Psychic Frog, okay. Discard Yargle Mutani down to 2. Wow, we're saved by our budgetness. If we were playing fetches and shocks, we'd be dead. That's the upside of Yargle Mutani. But now our opponent's tapped out. We survive the Frog Cremation. Now we get to sack a Satyr Wayfinder, get back 2 Necrotic Oozes, and... it's combo time. Wow, opponent almost managed to get us with the Cremator. But the fact that we're playing budget mana let us win the game, and opponent scoops it up. Well, okay. Budget deck. Sweet. Budget magic time. We are doing some Necrotic Ooze comboing. Ooh, wow, it's a lot of ooze. That is a lot of ooze. Ooze-tron, Bestron. Sounds a little scary because we don't have any way to fill the graveyard, but our deck is full of ways to fill the graveyard, and we got the oozes, so we're gonna try it. We might regret it. We'll see. We really would need to draw like a Stitcher Supplier, Satyr Way, something to get cards in the graveyard. And then this hand becomes kind of good. We only need one more land and we get to the ooze with Devoted Druid. We need another black source, but you can't ask for too much with a budget mana base. All right, opponent. What are we up to other than mulliganing aggressively? I wish I had a way to calculate this, but I feel like the number of mulligans that happen in Magic today is way higher than it was in the past. There's probably a way to, like, I don't know, count Pro Tour matches or something and see how much people mulligan. There's probably a way to figure it out, but that would actually be interesting data, because my gut is that the mulligan rate has increased somewhat dramatically. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I think it's partly a product of people learning that they should mulligan more. Let's play the forest and pass. Partly a product of just rule changes, and also I think a product of like card design changes. I feel like it's a lot easier to mulligan now with a lot of decks because there's so many like one card win cons or like snowbally threats and so much like virtual card advantage that it's a lot easier to still execute your game plan even with fear. Oh god. All right. Eldrazi Temple. There was a time when Eldrazi Temple was like one of my most hated cards. I don't know. It's not really anymore. Although maybe it will be again post-manning. I mean, we got our second black source, so Ooze is online. We got nothing to do with. Oh boy. All right, another land that makes 2. And Thought Nasir. Ooh, Trinisphere. It's annoying, but I guess it's not that insane against us. A Kozilek's Command. Well, let's remove or add some counters. We would rather have this in the graveyard than exiled. In the graveyard, it's part of our combo. In exile, it is absolutely useless. Well, opponent, it's a couple of spawns. Spike Shot Elder. Spike Shot Elder is such a horrible draw. That's a card that we like basically never want to draw. We just only want it in the graveyard. Urza Saga. They do have a lot of mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana for Eldrazi. Opponent. Ooh, Karn? Yeah, we can't beat a Karn. The problem with Karn, so Karn is really, really good because it can just get graveyard hate at any time, and we don't have a way to pressure it, so it actually is, there's no way we're going to win from there with that Karn out. We can bring in Damping Spheres. In the past, I did not like Damping Sphere against Eldrazi Tron, but with these new builds, with so many soul lands, I think it might be worth trying. Assassin's Trophy can get rid of graveyard hate. Haywire Might also gets rid of graveyard hate. And then I guess we just do a little trimmage and run it like that. On to game number 2. Ooh, all right, we have a this is the nut draw. This is the dream. We have the dream draw, Buried Alive Necrotic Ooze, and the mana to cast it. The question's gonna be, do we have to play the Damping Sphere? Our dream draw is turn 2 Devoted Druid, turn 3 Buried Alive, turn 4 Necrotic Ooze. But depending on what our opponent does, we might have to take a turn off to play this Damping Sphere. Well, tap land go. These buddy lands are so clunky in this deck, but Tron land. And Underworld Cook, for Madnessing Emeralds. Okay. We can probably play Devoted Druid, right? We can play Devoted Druid. What's the worst case? They play Ugin's Labyrinth, they have 3 mana. So the worst case, well, okay. The worst case has come to pass. They have another Tron land. I think this means we probably have to Damping Sphere now over Buried Alive. Actually, tap. Oh, the Devoted Druid power. I wasn't considering. Devoted Druid can make 2 mana. So this is actually, this is the best of both worlds. Thanks to Devoted Druid, we do have to play the Buried Alive first. So let's tap Devoted Druid, untap Devoted Druid, tap Devoted Druid, and Buried Alive. Get the combo pieces. We know what we're looking. So opponent has 1 turn to find graveyard hate, basically. Morsel Horde and Spike Shot Elder. And we'll take the Devoted Druid, even though we can put the one on the battlefield into the graveyard, but we might as well. And then Damping Sphere. The other upside of this Damping Sphere is it means our opponent can't Karn Tormod Script because it's going to tax their Tormod Script by 1. So it's going to shut down the Tron lands from making an absurd amount of mana. Equally important. Oh, they're just going to Trinisphere? All right. Well, that should be good. That should be good. Necrotic Ooze costs 4, so we will 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 Necrotic Ooze, and it's party time. Turn 4 combo kill. So, add a counter and remove a counter and do it again and do it again. This combo, it's not that bad. I think there's not a risk of timing out, really. It doesn't take that many clicks. It takes like 7 clicks to deal 4 damage. That's reasonable. That means we're in a pretty safe spot to be able to actually kill. Spike Shot Elder, probably better known as Necrotic Ooze, your face for 4. Infinite mana, infinite damage. I guess we could also play like our devoted druids and stuff, but it really just doesn't matter because we're about to win. An opponent scoops it up and overcoming the Eldrazi, the hated Eldrazi Temple. Let's bring in a duress maybe. I feel like being on the draw, the duress seems pretty good. Mostly worried about Karn. I mean, we can also just get got by. I mean, Eldrazi can have very powerful draws. So there's always just a risk that we end up just straight up dying to our opponent just having a busted draw. But in general, Karn for Graveyard Hate is what we're most scared of. Buried Alive makes this deck so much better. It really changes just how easy it is to set up the combo. All right, on to game 3. Can we start off 2-0? We got the Damping Sphere. Wow, okay. Wow, this is... So we need a land. We need a land. This is the... As long as we draw one more land nut draw. Turn 1 Duress, turn 2 Damping Sphere, turn 3 Buried Alive, turn 4... Ooze you for the kill. All right, opponent gets to Devour of Destiny. Getting things set up. I wonder if this Damping Sphere is actually worth it. It didn't do anything last game. It would have done a ton game 1. Satyr Wayfinder, eh? Well, let's duress ya. See what our opponent's working with. Karn and Stonebrain. So Stonebrain ruins our combo. Karn also ruins our combo. So I play the Stonebrain next turn. I think we take the Stonebrain because I think the Damping Sphere will buy us just enough time to be able to combo before Karn can get the Tormod's Crypt to another Ooze. We do need to draw a land, though. The problem is we don't have time to play the Satyr Wayfinder to dig for a land, because if we do, our opponent assembles Tron, and then they win the game. So we have to play Damping Sphere, because we know Tron is coming. So get down the Damping Sphere. Oh, this is going to come down to not just... Oh, boy, we got 2 turns to draw land. We got 2 turns to draw land, and it really has to be an untapped land. 3 mana, Trinisphere. Doesn't change anything. Passes. Spike Shot Elder. Oh, my goodness. Oh, so the scary part is, well, we get to Buried Alive. We get our combo pieces. So the combo set up. All that matters is we need to draw an untapped land. The challenging part is, because this is our 4th land, fast lands are tapped. So that means, like half of our mana base comes into play tapped here. Oh, it's going to be, oh, come on, Magic Gods. Come on, Magic Gods. Opponent. I mean, they played the Trinisphere too, so they definitely can't play the Tormod's Crypt. The Damping Sphere also would have shut it down, but opponent plays the Karn. Yup. Well, it comes down to this. There's the Karn. Opponent's going to tutor with the Karn. What's our opponent going to get with the Karn? It looks like... Tormod's Crypt. Can't play this turn, though. All right, untap land? Untapped land. Wow. I think mathematically the odds were not in favor of us hitting the untapped land. We're probably on like a 20% or something just because of our budget mana base. But now we have all the manas, infinite manas even, and infinite damage. And we got there. Taking down Eldrazi Tron through the Karn. Thanks to Damping Sphere. And, well, that's how you use them. That is how you use them. It's working. Did we break it? No, we didn't break it. But we are winning. We've won 2 matches in a row with a $90 Necrotic Ooze Buried Alive combo. Is our opponent actually going to let us play this all the way out? I'm actually kind of glad, because now we can see exactly how long. It does not take that long to deal 20 damage with this combo. An opponent scoops it up, and, well, nice try, Trod. Budget magic time. We are doing some more Necrotic Ooze comboing in Modern. Modern back on the menu, thanks to the bannings. Oh my goodness. It took a bit too long, but we got there. They should have been the One Ring too. But what can you do? At least Nadu is gone, and also Grief. Grief being gone is also good. The One Ring, it's gonna happen. It's gotta happen eventually. Can we keep this? This hand is good at filling the graveyard, but it does not have an ooze, or a way to find an ooze, or a way to reanimate an ooze. And let's mulligan. I think we need... Oh god, this hand got a lot worse. All right, going to 5. All right, well, yeah. So I kind of wish we just kept that first one. The first hand was fine. It just didn't have any of our payoffs, but probably with the benefit of hindsight, perhaps maybe should have just kept it energy, eh? Or burn. Nah, probably energy. Oh my god, even more lands. All right, well, not looking super good here. Wow, even more lands. Okay, well, let's play a Chthonian Nightmare and pass the turn. We'd really love to find a Satyr Wayfinder, a Stitcher Supplier, anything like that would be helpful. Opponent. Amped Raptor. Gonna spin it to win it, spin it to win it. Yeah, pretty sure energy is, oh boy, Ocelot Pride and gains life. Pretty sure energy is going to be S tier in our current world. I was actually thinking they should just ban something from energy this BNR. Oh god. Okay. How about more nightmares? More nightmares, but no creatures. And I think we might be dead. Opponent already has a flying Guide of Souls. Pretty good, pretty good. And that's after missing a land drop. Oh, this deck's so ridiculous. Opponent, at least it's a fair deck. I mean, if you gotta have a deck that's S tier, I think we would all rather have an S tier deck that's like playing creatures and attacking rather than just like playing Nadu and combo killing. Did our opponent slow roll a land drop? Oh god, another Guide of Souls. Gonna go attack. We actually have more energy than our opponent. Not that it's doing anything for us. Opponent gets in, hits us. I guess we have to draw like, we have to draw something to go with the nightmares this turn, and even that I don't know if it's enough. 3, 6, wow, okay. So I believe this is a deck that wants to mulligan somewhat aggressively, but I kind of wish we just kept that first hand. With how this ended up playing out, I kind of wish we had just kept the first hand and hoped for the best there, because that was about the worst hand I've ever. I mean, we also just drew nothingness forever, which you know, not ideal. Is the Marauder even worth it? Maybe we go something like this. Bring in the Fatal Pushes. Yeah, they didn't see much. They saw the Nightmares, which could make them bring in Graveyard Hate. I don't think we can afford to bring in Assassin's Trophy, though. I think we just gotta run it like this and hope that we maybe can come off. So what does this deck need? It needs ways to get stuff in the graveyard, and it needs the Ooze. Those are the two things. That last hand, well, we're going to keep this. That last hand had none of those things where we ended up. The first hand had ways to fill the graveyard, but did not have a way to Ooze. This hand is fine. I actually kind of like this hand. Huh. Ooh, Morsel Horde. Rather have that one in the graveyard. Well, 1 and ouch 2. Satyr Wayfinder. Do a little digging. See if we can find a land here and fill the graveyard. We will take a Blackleaf Glyphs. All right, so there's an Ooze in the graveyard, which is somewhat relevant thanks to Chthonian Nightmare. So I guess we can, oh boy, how much should we play around Graveyard Hate? Arena of Galore. And a Johnny. Passing. Woodland Cemetery. Well, let's play Blackleaf Cliffs. And 1, 2, 3, Buried Alive. So we can get the full combo in the graveyard. So Spike Shot Elder and Devoted Druid, Morsel Horde. So now we need to figure out how to get this Ooze into play, or just draw another one. In theory, I don't know if this is going to happen in practice, but in theory, if the Satyr Wayfinder lives, we can just win next turn with double Chthonian Nightmare. Sack it, get back like Spike Shot, then sack the Spike Shot, get back the Ooze. Combat, attacks, hits us, we will take it. This is a big turn. This is a big turn. Up against the best deck in Modern, Sacred Foundry, untapped, and what do we got, opponent? What do we got? Blood Moon. Okay, that does slow us down. Well, 1 and 2, play Chthonian Nightmare, get a little energy, Devoted Druid, sack the Satyr Wayfinder, play a Woodland Cemetery, pass the turn. So if nothing goes wrong, we win next turn. Our opponent also shut themselves out of white mana, which could be relevant. If they kill the Devoted Druid, it's pretty bad for us, because now we don't have a creature to go with the Nightmare. attacks. We just need this druid to live. That is the only thing we need. One of the biggest downsides of budget decks is it is incredibly hard to play around Blood Moon, especially if you're a 3-color like a 3-color budget deck. It's essentially just impossible because you can't fetch out basics, right? You don't get to play fetches, so you're just kind of like YOLO it. If you're monocolored, it's probably fine because you're gonna have a bunch of basics. All right, opponent's got oh, they're gonna flip. Okay, and makes a cat. Snipes our face. Do they have another removal spell? Oh! No. Opponent. Slow rolling the graveyard hate. Well, that is super bad for us. Super duper ultra bad. So, what do we do now? What do we possibly do? Play a Satyr Wayfinder. Mill some cards. We need them to pop this Soul Guide Lantern. Whoa, wow, the hard whiff. That's real bad. 1-2, Chthonian Nightmare. Resolves. But I imagine that our opponent's going to crack this little Soul Guide Lantern. So we try to get back the Ooze. Opponent, Soul Guide Lantern. Well, life is bad. Life is very bad. I think we kind of misplayed there. What? Oh, jeez. Okay, nothing we did actually mattered. There's no way we were gonna beat this hand in a million billion years. Yeah. I mean, if that's our opponent's hand, it is an auto lose. So what we could have done differently, and it wouldn't have mattered because they had the Galvanic Discharge, but we could have played the Nightmare before the Satyr Wayfinder, and then if they crack the Graveyard Hate, we can play the Satyr Wayfinder after, start filling the graveyard again. At this point, though, we were just hard locked out of the game. We did make it close, I will say. Like, it was close. Unfortunately, our opponent, Graveyard Hate and double Galvanic Discharge. Ouch. This hand has a lot of lands, although one of them is Technuma. We do have the Ooze, which in theory means all we gotta do to win the game, all we gotta do is get 3 specific cards in the graveyard. Drawing Buried Alive would be super nice. Mana base, I mean, we got a million lands. Ugh, Eldrazi, eh? Gonna have to be fast. I mean, in theory, the perfect Malevolent Rumble could let us win the game on turn 3. It would take an arguably miraculous Malevolent Rumble. We would have to mill exactly Spike Shot Elder, Morsel Horde, and the Devoted Druid. We'd have to mill all 3 of those out of the 4 cards. So the top of our deck would have to be incredibly kind. Opponent. Uggin's Labyrinth. Gonna start making multiple manas here. Another land that isn't especially helpful. Well, go Rumble. Yeah, let's just take Stitcher Supplier. All right, so that was not the Miracle Mill. Carpusen Forest and Ancient Stirrings. Gonna do a little digging. At least we don't have to worry about Blood Moon, although we probably got to worry about getting through the Breached. Opponent finds a Beseiju. All right, Beseiju doesn't really do anything to us. That's actually borderline a whiff, I guess, out of all the things our opponent could hit. Opponent passes. All right, action, please. Ooh, Buried Alive. Okay, well, let's play Blooming Marsh. Oh, there's no way to disguise this. The problem is, if they just go Karn Tormod Script, we get so wrecked. We could play the Necrotic Ooze, but then it dies to removal. Stitcher Supplier, mill some cards. See what we hit. Necrotic Ooze, Devoted Druid, 1, 2, 3. Buried Alive. Grab a Spike Shot, a Morsel Horde, and a Devoted Druid. So combo in the graveyard. And pass the turn, and it all comes down to this. Do they have Graveyard Hate? Can they Karn into a Tormod Script? If so, we almost certainly lose. If not, gonna be turn 4 combo kill here for the Ooze. Found it. Beseiju. Okay, Sowing Micro, that's actually fine. That is perfectly fine. Sowing Microspawn gets, I mean, unless they play Graveyard Hate off this land. Exiles the Devourer, has 2 more mana. Talisman, okay, even more mana, and, wait, do we do this? Did we just win? Did we just win? Llanowar Waste, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Necrotic Ooze. The nice thing about this combo is, there's no window to kill the Ooze. So now, add a counter, remove a counter for red, add a counter, remove a counter for red, infinite mana, add a counter with Devoted Druid's ability, remove it with Morsel Horde's ability, and now, shoot your face for 4, and do it again, infinite damage, and it's kind of working. It is kind of, unless we misclick somehow, I mean, this is just game. Try to Eldrazi us, will ya? Try to Eldrazi us. Ooze ya, add a counter, remove a counter. okay. I mean, we can win on turn 4. Like, we do have a relatively fast combo kill when it all comes together. It's unfortunate Graveyard Hate can wreck us, but snipe ya to 7. Well, add and remove and add and remove. Buried Alive, I think actually an opponent scoops it up. Buried Alive is the card that kind of makes this possible, right? Now we have one card. It essentially makes Necrotic Ooze a 2-card combo. That's the big innovation for Modern Horizons 3. Like, if you look at the combo, Necrotic Ooze has existed forever. Devoted Druid, Morsel Horde, Spike Shot Elder, those have all existed forever. What's new is, now all we gotta do to win the game is turn 3 Buried Alive, turn 4 Necrotic Ooze, assuming there's no Graveyard Hate, GG. When before, it was really hard to get all the combo pieces in the graveyard one by one with Stitcher's Supply. You gotta just like trust in your random milling. That went well. That went oddly, surprisingly, shockingly well. Eldrazi A. Question is, we probably need Damping Sphere. Do we want Damping Sphere? I don't think this is like a Tron Eldrazi deck. We probably need Duress. Do we try to just combo as quickly as possible? Or do we try to slow our opponent down? Like, how much effort do we put into slowing our opponent down? Like, Sheoldred's Edict is a way that we can stop our opponent from killing us with Breach. Is it worth bringing in? Well, we'll see. I don't know if we can get this many cards in. So we can go down a Marauder. We can go down a Gnawing Vermin. We can go down a Rumble. Maybe like a Victimize. It's hard to cut too many combo pieces. I guess we can go down the Rats, maybe? The Rats is nice because it's a way we can get a combo piece into the graveyard from hand, but it's probably cuttable. Maybe like one Nightmare. Let's go down one Devoted Druid. We'll go 3 of each of the combo pieces, run it like that. Devoted Druid's the one we have 4 of because it actually does something outside the combo. All right. I mean, yeah, I guess. So we can Spike Shot Elder. We have Assassin's Trophy as a catch-all. I guess we're just hoping to mill Ooze and combo pieces, basically. We do not have a Damping Sphere or anything to slow our opponent down, so we gotta just hope that doesn't happen. About it. Passing. Well, there's a Stitcher's Supplier. Awkward tap land. Woodlands, good old budget mana. Woodland Cemetery go. Even more Eldrazi Temples. And the Talisman. All right, opponent passes. We draw more Woodland Cemeteries. So we could just die this turn to... Well, no, we can't get Breach yet. Those are Eldrazi Temples. Play a Blackleaf Cliffs. Let's play the Satyr Wayfinder. Maybe we hit a land that lets this Woodland Cemetery come into play untapped. All right, we do not. But we mill a Devoted Druid, which is something. That is on our please mill me list. So next turn, we definitely can die to a Breach. Wow, yeah, that's kind of brutal. Eat a land. Ramp a land. I mean, I guess if they have it, they have it. There's not really a way we can stop it. Yeah, it's kind of brutal that we are down to 1 mana now. Opponent, even more Eldrazi Temples. Opponent has basically infinite mana. Opponent, pass it. Oh, Blooming Marsh. I mean, I guess it just all comes down to milling. Let's play the Rumble. We'll take the Ooze. We still need multiple pieces in the graveyard to be able to win. So we have the Devoted Druid, but we still need Morsel Horde. We still need Spike Shot Elder. And our opponent has a lot of mana. Uggin's Labyrinth exiles in all his dust. Gets in for 3. I mean, we'll just take the 3 for now. That's fine. Well, 1 and 2. Satyr Wayfinder. Do some digging. Can we hit a land, please? Okay, we hit a Blooming Marsh. Well, take the Blooming Marsh. There's a Spike Shot Elder in the graveyard, so that's a hit. Let's just play Woodland Cemetery past the turn. I mean, there's a world. There's a world where we could win next turn. I don't even know if our opponent wants the All Is Dust. Like, they could All Is Dust, but does it even do anything here? I mean, we're gonna have to win quickly, that's for sure. If we do not win quickly, we are going to die. Because sooner or later, they're gonna cast a big Eldrazi. Oh, they're gonna, okay. Kozilek's Command's super bad here. Yeah. Kozilek's Command. Odds of us being dead this turn just increased incredibly. 8 cards deep, I guess, to find a payoff to close out this game. The way we could win next turn, well, I guess we can't even win next turn because of our mana base. We'd have to draw an untapped land. Yes, mana's so, what can you do? I guess we should have played the Blooming Marsh because now that comes into play untapped, but the Woodland Cemetery also comes into play tapped. Everything's a little tapped. Opponent, tapping lots of mana, tapping lots and lots of mana. Or are they just like hard casting an Emrakul? I mean, that will do it. All right, sure. Fair enough, fair enough. Hi, that Myco spawn. Well, run it back. There's nothing we can really change. Man, maybe Damping Sphere is worth it. You know what? I think Damping Sphere is worth it. If our opponent was not being able to tap all their lands for 2 mana, that would have looked a lot different. Oh, if we knew he would draw lands, this hand would be great. Because we have the Ooze, we got the Buried Alive. We even have a Duress for protection. But we only have 1 land. And we're on the play. I think we gotta mulligan it. Yeah, we gotta. So close to being what we wanted. All right, well, this we're gonna keep. We do not have any interaction for our opponent stuff, unfortunately. We do have Buried Alive and the Victimize. I mean, it's possible. It's possible we could set it up with this. Like turn 2 Satyr Wayfinder, mill a combo piece, turn 3 Buried Alive, and then Victimize to get back and use and combo off, at least theoretically possible. And we play this Woodland Cemetery on turn 1 to get the tap land out of our hand, which is also something. Oh boy. Like our opponent need even more mana. Well, Woodland Cemetery, go. Opponent untaps. Eldrazi Temple. 3 mana here on turn number 1. Well, Llanowar Waste, and 1 and 2. Satyr Wayfinder? Mill some cards, find, I guess, a swamp. Those cards were not especially helpful. Those cards were actually not helpful at all. Yeah, that's kind of bad. We needed to mill at least 1 combo piece, because now I don't even know. I mean, I guess we have the Devoted Druid. Grove of the Burn Willows for our opponent, and passes. Malevolent Rumble. Play the Swamp. Play the Rumble. Woodland Cemetery. And play Devoted Druid. Oh, we still need 2 turns, though, and I don't know if we have 2 turns. Get in, hit ya. Down to 19. Opponent taps. Well, oh, they're going to kill the Devoted Druid. If the Devoted Druid lived, we'd actually have a chance to win next turn. Okay, they're going to scry and draw. Okay, it comes down to this. It comes down to this. Actually, because what we can do... Boy, 1 to the top. That's not great. Oh, are we getting breached to death? Because we can tap Devoted Druid for 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. So we actually have just enough mana to Buried Alive and Victimize. But it looks like instead we will die to a Through the Breach Emrakul. I don't know if... Is there any reason to continue playing here? So we lose all of our permanents. We drop to 4. We're not going to beat a turn 3 Hasty Emrakul very often, I will say. Odds of beating that for our deck pretty low. Turns out a hasty turn 3 Emrakul is kind of hard to beat. I almost wonder if they were yeah, it's pretty brutal. Well, take Numa. Losing all of our lands also pretty brutal. Pass the turn. Kozilek's Command being an Eldrazi spell to work with Eldrazi temples, pretty strong. Kozilek's Command makes a bunch of Eldrazi, scries and draws. Leaves it on top. Man, oh, we had the win on turn 4. We had the win on turn 4, but our opponent had the Emrakul on turn 3. The speed of Modern definitely increased a bit from where it was in the past. Opponent passes. Black Cleave Cliffs. Well, we will 1 and 2 and 3. Cast a Buried Alive. We will put Necrotic Ooze and Spike Shot Elder, Morsel Hoarder in the graveyard. So the problem is we have this Victimized, but we don't have a creature to sacrifice. So it's just another Kozilek's Command. every turn the Kozilek's Command. All right, opponent. Oh, all right, sure. Emrakul numbered. I don't know why they didn't just do that during their turn. I guess maybe, yeah, all right. Well, turns out, 2 Emrakul the Eon's Torn. Little much for our budget deck. It all comes down to this. This is the 5th match of the league. We're 2 and 2. Can we get a winning record with a budget deck in Modern in 2024? Is it possible? Is it possible? We got the Buried Alives. We have some ways to fill the graveyard. We do not currently have an Ooze. Although in theory, the Nightmare could perhaps... Really? Gemstone Caverns? Well, opponent's gonna start with a little bonus mana. Oh, there's Storm. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we might just be immediately dead then. All right, yeah, opponent. Wait, maybe they're not... Okay, I don't know what our opponent is. They revealed... Wait. They exiled a Ruby Medallion. Well, let's play Blooming Marsh, and 1 and 2, do a little rumbling. Grab a... Yeah, we gotta take the land. That means we mill the Ooze. Pass the turn. We can get it back with the Nightmare. We do need to live long enough. Opponent. Row. And proceeds to win the game. Manamorphose. I mean, we do have a couple Damping Spheres in the sideboard. So we do have a plan-ish. I mean, we don't have a ton, but we do have something for Storm. If they don't flip the Row here, we can get rid of it with the Marauder, which is something. It does mean we're not casting Buried Alive to set up the combo kill. Insta-flips the Row. So much for the killing of the Row plan. And opponent, gonna take up the Row and cast a Ren's Resolve and hit a Desperate Ritual and cast another Manamorphose. And cast a Ritual, and jeez, and it's a Past in Flames for another Manamorphose. Huh, looks like we're about to die on turn 2. You know, we got Gnawing Vermin. We're doing it. We're doing it. Opponent, Ren's Resolve. Hits a Strike It Rich and a bunch of lands. They might be fizzling for now. Not that it really matters, since they can just do it again in the future. Yeah, now that Row's in Planeswalker form, we can't actually kill it or anything. Well, what do we draw? Blooming Marsh. So we will play a Blooming Marsh, cast a Buried Alive, grab a Morsel Horde, and a Spike Shot Elder. Yeah, let's take Rotting Rats. Odds are we just die this turn anyway. And we're a mana short because of the Blooming Marsh from getting back the Ooze next turn with the Nightmare. Well, we'll see. And Arid Mesa. And cracks Arid Mesa. Takes up Ral. Card draw. Reckless Impulse. Finds a Ritual. Yeah, I mean, they should just win here, right? So they get to cast the Ritual, they can Past in Flames. So they get to draw at least 4 more cards. We need our opponent to get pretty unlucky. Ren's Resolve. Okay, there's a Wish and another. All right. Yeah, that'll do it. The Wish and the Ren's Resolve means they can't really fizzle now. Storm. So, Damping Sphere's in. Soul Guide Lantern. Is that even worth it? Duress. Do we need Fatal Pushes to kill the Row? Does it even matter? We can go down the Marauders. We'll go down the Rotting Rats. We'll go down the Gnawing Vermin. We'll go down a Rumble. I mean, we definitely need... I mean, I guess we can Sheoldred's Edict. That can kill Ral in Planeswalker form. Maybe something like that. Is the Duress even worth it? Our opponent's deck has so much redundancy. I feel like the Duress... Yeah, let's try it like... Let's try it like that. Let's try it like that. All right, here we go. Here we go. Can we beat Storm? I mean, Nadu's gone, but Modern is still incredibly fast and busted. My goodness. So this hand has a Soul Guide Lantern. That's not enough. We will mulligan. This hand has 0 lands. That is not going to do it. We will mulligan. Are we going to 4 on the play? This hand can't win, though. Yeah, all right, we're going to 4. Well, we will keep Sheoldred's, well, Necrotic Ooze to the bottom. Satyr Wayfinder to the bottom. Soul Guide Lantern to the bottom. Oh, God. Jeez. All right, opponent. Gemstone Caverns. Starting with an extra mana somehow. And Strike It Rich. Opponent passes. We draw a useless swamp. Pass the turn. Oh, man, they're going to be on the Ruby, aren't they? If they got the Row, we can kill the Row. But if they're on the Ruby plan... Man, this keeps getting worse. We draw a Rumble that we can't cast because we have no green mana. Well, past the... Yeah, this is lining up very poorly for us. The Gemstone Caverns into the Ruby instead of the Row. And opponent finds the land. It looks like the one lander is gonna pay off for our opponent here. Mountain. And there's a Row. I mean, we get to kill the Row. Not that it really is going to change much here. Yes, opponent. You can sack a Row, please. So opponent makes a bunch of mana. Ren's Resolve into a Ritual and some more mana. And, I mean, we mulliganed as aggressively as we could to find a Damping Sphere, so there's only 2 of them. We did what we could. Well, I will say this league started off a lot better than it ended for Necrotic Ooze. But I guess, I mean, well, at least they hit all lands. 2 and 3 with a budget deck in 2024 is not It's not the absolute worst. It's not the absolute worst. Opponent has seemingly fizzled for the time being. Come on, deck. Give us something. It's the Damping Sphere, the turn after our opponent stormed off. Perfect timing, Damp. An opponent's top card was Past in Flames. It was Past in Flames. I think the Damping Sphere is going to stop them, though, right? Because, like, this does kind of fight through the Ruby Medallions. Because it's increasingly more expensive for each spell that they cast. So they have a 2-mana tax this turn, or this spell, then a 3-mana tax the next spell. All right, Glimpse the Impossible. But that's got to be the end of it, right? Like, their next spell costs 3 more to cast. Opponent plays a land and passes. All right, gets a couple Eldrazi. Well, there's some green mana. Okay. I mean, maybe this Damping Sphere can keep us alive, even as late as it was. We will take the Necrotic Ooze. We mill the Morsel Horde. Okay, that's a start. That's a start. I mean, once they blow up Damping Sphere, we die very quickly. They have everything in the graveyard they need to win the game. They just can't do it through the Damping Sphere at the moment. Metamorphose. Gonna draw a card. Make a little mana. Strike it rich. All right, Stomping Grounds. Strike it rich. All right, deck. All right, deck. Show us something good. Stitcher Supplier. Let's play the Rumble first, actually. Play the Rumble, because we could hit another Damping Sphere. We do not. All right, take the Land of War Waste. So we're missing, we're missing a single piece. Play the Stitcher Supplier. We need the Spike Shot Elder. We need the Spike Shot Elder. Did not mill it. Play the Land of War Waste. All right, pass the turn. Opponent. Adapts. Hold, Damping Sphere. Hold. I guess they're trying to build up mana to try to combo through the Damping Sphere. All right, there's the Past in Flames. Well, I mean, if they can win through the Damping Sphere, then I guess they just deserve to win this game. So, next spell. 2 less because of Ruby Medallion, 1 more because of Damping Sphere. It's a wish. They're going to wish for an answer to the Damping Sphere and then win. Yeah, I imagine this does it. Like, if they have enough, they need 1 extra mana and then they win the game. So they find an Abrade, they have the mana. I mean, I guess we can let them storm for a minute, but with their graveyard active, they have infinite mana and they can draw at least 6 more cards. So, yeah, it would be 8 more cards because they have 2 glimpses. Yeah, there's no way they can actually fizzle from here. It looks like we're gonna finish with a 2-3 with some Necrotic Ooze combo. We got a couple other combos along the way. I will say, the deck's power level, yeah, there's the RAL, all right. I will say, let's do a little wrap up right here. So I will say the power level of the deck, a 2 and 3, I mean, that's not a horrible record. That's a, like, you know, a semi-competitive, I could take this to an F&M and have fun with it kind of record. I think the deck, it got a lot better because of Modern Horizons, right? Being able to have Buried Alive to find all the combo pieces is a really, really huge deal. So it does make it a lot better. That said, the deck, I don't think it's ever going to be super competitive because for one thing, it does rely on the graveyard. So it gets shut down by Graveyard Hate. Our combo kill is really like when things go well, turn 4. I don't think it's very realistic to combo before that with the budget build of the deck. I'm sure there's a way you could play more fast mana and stuff to try to speed it up non-budget, but it is like a turn 4 kill deck. And we just saw a lot of decks, even in the post-ban no Nadu world, there's a lot of decks that are killing on turn 2 or turn 3. Like Storm's killing on turn 2. We are getting Emrakul on turn 3. So it might be that this deck is just like a little bit slow compared to 2024 Modern. This might be one of those decks that was like kind of sweet for like 14 Modern or something, but a little slow for the current Modern. The combo is still really cool though, and the combo does work, and it is super, super huge that we now have essentially a 2-card combo. Like, we can just Buried Alive into Necrotic Ooze, And if there's no graveyard hate, that just straight up wins us the game. So Buried Alive does make the deck so much better. And I think there's some like non-budget possibilities. Obviously, we saw like the energy game where we got wrecked by Blood Moon. That's something that would kind of go away for the most part if we were playing a non-budget mana base. So you can definitely improve the mana base for one thing. There's also the possibility of going like 5-color and then like Priest of the Fellright, so you can Bury It Alive in the graveyard and use it to reanimate the ooze. And there's some sweet shenanigans like that are possible, but that would just require like playing a tier modern mana base, right? Fetches and shocks. It's really almost impossible to make the 5-color thing work without having those expensive lands in the deck. So I think there's some non-budget possibilities. Is it better than just reanimating an Atrox or something? Maybe not, but it's certainly way spicier, and it was super cool to see Necrotic Ooze able to win some games and like represent itself fairly well. So we went 2-0 in our first matches, lost the last 3 unfortunately, but we did get a couple extra combos along the way. And honestly, even in some of our losses, like the Breach matchup that we played, we're like a turn away from comboing when our opponent managed to turn 3 an Emrakul Breach, and we just like died. When if we had if they were on a turn 4 Emrakul Breach, which is pretty realistic, we would have just comboed off and won the game. So even in our losing efforts, a lot of them were like close, right? It wasn't like we were just not even competitive or in the game at all. A lot of them were really close. So I think for a budget deck in Modern in 2024, Necrotic Ooze, definitely not competitive. You're not going to win a GP with this or whatever, but it's competitive enough to have a lot of fun with, and it is super unique and super cool. So that is budget Necrotic Ooze for Modern. That's been our deck for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.